Alghero is a city of about 45,000 inhabitants in the Italian province of Sassari in the northwest of the island of Sardinia, next to the Mediterranean Sea. The city's name comes from Algherium, which is a medieval Latin word meaning stagnation of algae. The population is noted for having retained the language of the Crown of Aragon rulers from the end of the Middle Ages, when Sardinia was part of the Crown of Aragon. Hence, Algherese is officially recognized as a minority language. Alghero is the third university center in the island, coming after Cagliari and Sassari. It hosts the headquarters of the Università degli Studi di Sassari's Architecture and Design Department. History. The area of today's Alghero has been settled since prehistoric times. The Ozieri culture was present here in the 4th millennium BC, while the Nurag civilization settled in the area around 1500 BC. The Phoenicians arrived by the 8th century BC in the metalworking town of Santimbinia, in the area of later Alghero, with a mixed Phoenician and Nuragic population, engaged in trade with the Etruscans on the Italian mainland. Due to its strategic position on the Mediterranean Sea, Alghero had been developed into a fortified port town by 1102, built by the Genoese Doria family. The Dorias ruled Alghero for centuries, apart from a brief period under the rule of Pisa between 1283 and 1284. Alghero's population later grew because of the arrival of Catalan colonists. In the early 16th century, Alghero received papal recognition as a bishopric and the status of king's city and developed economically. Historically, the city was founded in the early 12th century between 1102 and 1112, when the noble Doria family of Genoa was allowed to build the first historical nucleus into an empty section of the coast of the parish of Nulloro in Judicature of Torres. For 2 centuries it remained in the orbit of the maritime republics, first and foremost the Genoese, apart from 1283 to 1284 when the Pisans were able to control it for a year. It is plausible that at this time the town shared, given its commercial and multi-ethnic nature, a language similar to the nascent Sassarese. The village was conquered by force by the Crown of Aragon, at the behest of King Per III of Aragon, who later actively promoted colonization of the town and the surrounding area, sending numerous families from different counties and provinces of the then Crown of Aragon, including Valencia, Majorca, Catalonia and Aragon. These were granted enticing privileges and, in fact, replaced the original population, some of whom were sent to the Iberian Peninsula and Majorca as slaves. The dialects these families spoke in Alghero were all very similar and derived from the same linguistic family. Over time, it settled on its current form of Catalan, despite the subsequent decline of the Crown of Aragon. The Aragonese were followed by the Spanish Habsburgs, who ruled until 1702 and continued expanding the town. In 1720, Alghero, along with the rest of Sardinia, was handed over to the Piedmont-based House of Savoy, upon the arrival of which a policy of Italianization was commenced. In 1821, a famine led to a revolt by the population, which was bloodily suppressed. At the end of the same century, Alghero was demilitarized. During the fascist era, part of the surrounding marshes were reclaimed and the suburbs of Fertilia and SM La Palma were founded. During World War II, Alghero was bombed, and its historical center suffered heavy damage. The presence of malaria in the countryside was finally overcome in the 1950s. Since then, Alghero has become a popular tourist destination. Geography. Location. Alghero is located on the northwestern coast of Sardinia, along the bay named after the city. In the north of the urban area, there is the Nura Plain. To the northwest, the karstic systems of Capo Caccia, Punta Giglio and Monte D'Aglia. The south is built mainly by mountains and the plateaus of Villanova Monteleone and Bosa. Climate. The climate at Alghero is mild due to the presence of the sea, which attenuates the temperatures especially during the summer. Summers are warm, like most parts of the Mediterranean. Winters are also mild, with the thermometers showing -Celsius temperatures just a few days per year. Language and culture. A variety of Catalan is spoken in Alghero, introduced when Catalans settled in the town. Catalan was replaced as the official language of the island by Spanish in the 17th century, then by Italian. The most recent linguistic research showed that 24.1% of the people have Algherese Catalan as a mother tongue, which is habitually spoken by 18.5% and taught to the children by 8% of the population, whereas 88.2% have some understanding of the language. Since 1997, Catalan has had official recognition and national and regional laws grant its right to be used in the city. Currently, there has been a revival of the arts in Algheri's Catalan, with singers such as Frank Amasu performing original compositions in the language. Following a rural exodus from the surrounding villages towards the city, much of the population speaks or has some proficiency in Sardinian, in addition to Italian and Catalan. Historically, the spread of Catalan was limited to the city and part of the coast, as the surrounding countryside has always been populated by Sardinian-speaking people. Moreover, the ancient part of Alghero shows many characteristics of Catalan medieval architecture. The Algheresos usually refer to their city as Barceloneta, Little Barcelona, because of their ancestry and fraternity with the Catalan capital. This Catalan population was the subject of an 1888 book by Eduardo Toda y Gul, Un poble català d'Itàlia, l'Alguer, which restarted the connection between Catalonia and Alghero. The cuisine is a blend of Catalan cuisine and Sardinian cuisine. Main sites. The many historical dominances that occurred in Alghero have created a rich variety of monuments, buildings and sites. Back from the Neolithic period from which many settlements remain, up to nowadays, in the last decades Alghero has become a touristic main point not only because of its coast and natural beauties but also because of a fairly well-preserved patrimony. Archaeological sites. Several archaeological sites out of the urban area. The Angelu Ruju Necropolis, the Santu Pedru Hill, the Villa Romana of Santa Mbenia or even the Purissima. Many nuraghi and some other points as Palmavera are also well preserved and open to visitors. Ramparts. The first rampart system looks back to the 13th century and was imported from the Genovese system. In 1354 the city was occupied by Catalans, who restored and expanded the defensive system, back then in bad condition. Some features from the old walls were respected, but Ferdinand the Catholic, who wanted to grant more protection to the city, built the majority of them in the 16th century. Along the walls, 7 towers and 3 forts are found. Religious architecture. Alghero Cathedral is the seat of the Roman Catholic Diocese of Alghero-Bosa. Construction started in 1570, and although it was opened in 1593, it was not until 1730 that it was finished and consecrated. The original church was in the Catalan Gothic style, as can be seen in the 5 chapels of the presbytery, which also include the base of the bell tower. The nave and the 2 aisles are of late Renaissance style. In the 20th century a neoclassical narthex was added to the facade, radically altering its appearance. The Church of St. Francis. Original Catalan Gothic parts can be seen over the high altar, the presbytery chapels and the San Sacramento chapel. The bell tower is from the first half of the 16th century. The Church of St. Michael. The Madonna del Santo Rosario. Others. The Torre del Portal, built at the expense of the Jewish community in Alghero in 1360, and the Tower dell'Espero Real. Palazzo d'Albis, a typical example of the Aragonese architecture of the 16th century. In October 1541 it housed the Emperor Charles V. Neptune's Grotto, a large cave discovered in the 19th century. Palazzo Carcassona. The coral of Alghero is among the finest in the Mediterranean with a reputation for quantity, quality, compression and ruby red color. Indeed, this coral is one of the most important economic aspects of the territory, giving this stretch of the coast its name, the Riviera del Corallo. The coat of arms and flag of Alghero include a branch of the valuable red coral on a foundation of rock. Territory. Villages and hamlet. Around Alghero territory beside several villages and hamlets, mostly with own church and partial services and shops. Fertilia, well known for the origin of the foundation city at fascism era and for the airport. Santa Maria la Palma, well known to be the location of the famous winery Cantina Social. Maristella, Porto Conte. Tramariglio. Guardia Grande. Villa Assunta. Sassagata. Ipiani. Tanca Fara. Another of Alghero features is its landscape. It has several beaches, bays and natural parks on the shoreline. Capo Cacha Promontory and its lighthouse are landmarks. Coast and beaches. Spiaggia di Pollina o della Speranza. Cala Barantino. San Giovanni. Lido. Maria Pia. La Bombarde. Lazaretto. Mugoni. La Stalla. La Bombarde. Punta Negra. Cala Dragonara. Natural parks. Area Natural Marina Protetta Capo Caccia, Isola Piana. Parco Regionale di Porto Conte. Transport and infrastructures. Alghero is well connected. Roads lead to Sassari, the province's capital. The main port for passengers is 30 kilometers away in Alghero. Fertilia Airport has national and international flights. Roads. Strada Statale 127 bis Settentrionale Sarda, leading to Porto Conte in Sassari. Strada Statale 291 della Nura, from Fertilia to Sassari. Strada Provincial 42 dei Dumari, reaching the port in Porto Torres. Strada Provincial 105 Alghero Bosa, panoramical road. It starts in the southern part of Alghero and goes along the shore to Bosa. Strada Statale 291 Der del Calic, assuring the connection to and from the airport. Trains. Alghero has a train station in the Petria neighborhood, Sant'Agostino, with daily trains to Sassari by Azienda Regionale Sarda Trasporti. Port. There is a leisure and fishing port in the heart of the city. Passenger traffic is handled by Porto Torres, some 30 kilometers north. There are ferry services from there to Genoa, Barcelona and Civitavecchia. Airport. The Alghero Fertilia, Riviera del Corallo, airport is 10 kilometers from the center near Fertilia. It is the principal connection with the rest of Italy and Europe. There is an hourly bus service to Fertilia and the center of Alghero. Books. In the 1930s, the Swedish writer Amelie Pasi Brazdova wrote a book entitled Sardinia Sideshow, where she told the complete story of 2 years she spent, interned, in Alghero Old Town during World War I. Sport events. Scala Piccata. The Rally di Sardegna, several editions from 2004 to 2020. Gara del Miglio Marino. Italian Welterweights Championship. Trofeo Tor Baruni. Regatta di Sant'Elmo. Trofeo San Gione. International Women's Judo Tournament. Sardinian Open Wheelchair Tennis. Volta a Catalunya 1986 edition. Giro d'Italia 2007 edition. Davis Cup, Italy-Luxembourg, 2007. Giro d'Italia, 2017 edition. Rally di Sardegna, 2020 edition. Twin Towns. Balaguer, Catalonia. Tarragona, Catalonia. Palma de Mallorca, Balearic Islands. Encamp, Andorra. Notable people. Antoni Ballero, Catalan poet.
you.